Hello everyone and welcome back to So Aldo DIY. Today I have a clothes recycling ideas for you. If you have some discarded shirts, this is a great time to use it. In this case, my husband did not want these shirts anymore, so he donated to me so I can turn it into something useful and fabulous. First, I trim off the collars and I'm going to save it because I might use it, but I end up not using them. And then I just pretty much deconstructed the whole shirts. So I separated the sleeves, the collars, and the pockets. For reference, the shirts are size medium and it's by the brand Eddie Bauer. So the fabrics are actually very good and they are thick and I don't have to use lining. I don't know about you, but it gives me so much thrill to cut up a perfectly good looking shirt. I feel like I'm being naughty or something. Since I love blue and actually this color is really complementing my skin tone, so I decided it's going to be the bodice. I will be using the bodice blocks that I drafted last year. If you don't have your own bodice blocks yet or bodice sloper, I think you should make one because pretty much once you have it, you can create anything and it's going to be super easy because you have it on hand already. Now I am cutting the bodice. I place the pattern on fold and I'm just going to cut it out, and I will repeat the same process with the back bodices, only I am going to give it 1 inch for the back for the zipper. Okay, brace yourself, it's going to be super fast. I am going to be cutting out the skirt portion now, so I'm pretty much going to create a rectangular shape of fabric. So I just cut out this shirt and I'm just going to piece it together to form a long strip of fabric. First tier is 66 inches by 12 inches. Bottom tier is 92 inches long, 12 inches in width. After I stitch the fabrics together, I'm going to sew a gathering stitch on the very top of the fabric. Next, I am going to construct the bodice. I'm just going to join the side seams and the shoulder seams together. When I started this sewing project, I actually did not have a plan on what I was going to do, so I am pretty much kind of designing it as I go. Then I decided I am going to add colors to this dress. Using the bodice blocks, I pin the shoulders together and then I'm going to trace the back neckline and the front neckline. And then I decided to do a 2 inches width colors and I'm just going to round it at the ends. After I created the pattern, it's time to cut out the fabric. So the colors are actually 2 inches in width and I realized it's too big, but it was too late because I'm already committed. So next time I'm going to make it a little thinner. I cut out 4 pieces and they should be mirror image. As you can see here, I place the color on the actual pattern, if that makes sense, so they actually aligned, so when I'm wearing the colors they don't look weird, especially when you are using striped fabrics or gingham. Anything with lines, really, you just want to make sure that you pattern match it so they look nice and on point. And as I mentioned before, I was creating the design as I go. I decided to add piping in between the colors. I think it's just going to add the perfect amount of contrast. So I did exactly that because I have some leftover from a previous project. So pretty much I placed the piping on the correct side of the collar, just on the edge. And I'm just going to stitch it right inside just like this. And pretty much you are going to sandwich the piping inside. Simply going to stitch it, and I'm using a zipper foot for this just so it's nice and precise. And I am also helping the piping on the edge because it is on a curve, and once I get to the curve I am going to cut a little slit on the piping and continue on sewing. Then I'm just going to trim off the excess piping. After that, I am going to place the other side of the collar, sandwiching the piping inside. Then I'm going to stitch on the edge one more time to secure it. Since the fabric is medium weight, I did not have to use any interfacing at all. But if you are using a lightweight material, be sure to use an interfacing. It's gonna make the collars look nice and sharp. After that, it's time to turn the collars correct side out, and you are going to give it a good press, so don't skip that part. And they should look like this. So the curve edge is going to be on the front because that's how I design it. So the flat is just going to be at the back. So I place it on the neckline, and right sides of the fabrics are facing. Make sure that you center it before you stitch it. Finish the neckline later on though. So now let's move on to the next part, is sewing the darts. So originally I wasn't going to add darts, but then I realized this could be a full dress, so I decided I want the bodice to be fitted. Adding darts to bodice or the garments actually give you an elegant shape. It just makes the dress looks fitted and tailored to your body. Now I am going to gather the first tier. So the idea is I'm going to match the waistline just like this. I'm using the bodice as my guide, and then I pin it to place, and I'm going to stitch it. Then I will repeat the same step for the bottom tier. I am going to gather it, match the right sides together, and stitch along. Told you we will not need a skirt pattern for this. My gosh, this dress is looking like a sweet dress. And then I made a mistake when I was serging the raw edge inside. Look what I did here. I accidentally caught the side seam, and there is a hole on my dress. At this point, I almost gave up on filming this dress and I just want to cry. But then I realized this could be a teaching moment, so this is how to fix it. And pick the overlock edge, and I'm going to remove as many threads as I can, and then I grab a piece of interfacing. It has an adhesive on one side and you activate it by steaming it. So I'm just going to place it inside the dress, and I'm going to close the hole as much as I can. So I'm patching it. This is a patchwork dress, I suppose, so here you go. I'm sorry, I can't resist. Then I'm just going to steam it to activate the adhesive, and then I zigzag stitch it just to secure everything, and yay, it is fixed. Now it's time to work on the sleeves. This sleeve pattern is the same one I used for the blue dress that I made last month and the wrap dress. And then I'm going to stitch right along here for the gathering stitch. I'm going to sew the inseams. Now it's time to set in the sleeves. I first match the seams and the shoulders, then I am going to gather the sleeve to fit in the armhole, and then I'm going to stitch all the way around. Then I'm going to finish the hemlines. I am going to be creating a casing for the elastic because I want this to be a puff sleeve. Elastic is about 10 inches long. Be sure to not make it super tight because you want it to be comfortable. I will stitch the elastic ends and close the opening, and I will repeat the same steps with the other sleeve. Now it's time to finish the neckline. I am simply going to understitch it. Be sure that the raw edge is facing towards the bodice, so facing down. And I'm going to do 2 rows of stitching because I don't want the raw edge to pop out when I'm wearing the dress. After that is completed, it's time to apply the zipper. So I will be doing an invisible zipper. So yeah, I have a full tutorial on how to do that. I am just going to have the link in the description box below if you want a full zipper tutorial. So I'm simply just going to place the invisible zipper on the correct side of the fabric, as you can see here. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for staying with me the whole entire time. And I promise you, we are almost done here. I will stitch right along here, and I will be using an invisible zipper foot. Now let's do a zipper test. I really love this part, especially when the seams match perfectly. Now it's time to close the back seam and trim the excess zipper. We don't need that extra length anymore. Then I fold the excess allowance here. I just fold it in and stitch right along, right here. Repeated the same to the other side. Now all what's left to do is finish the hemlines and the dress is completed. And this is the final dress. I absolutely love how it turned out. The colors are like my favorite feature of this dress. And for extra detail, I decided to add a velvet trim. I think it gave it a vintage look. Let me know what you think and leave them in the comments down below. That's it, you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so because I would love to have you here. Help my channel grow by sharing this video. I will totally appreciate it. Thanks so much again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!